In the realm where fame is both a crown and a cage, two names often echoed through the silence, Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan. To the public, they were just co-stars, colleagues bound by scripts and stage lights. But beneath the surface of flashing cameras and meticulously timed interviews, a quieter story whispered its way into existence. A story written not with proclamations, but with glances, small gestures, and the kind of loyalty that doesn't seek applause. Xiao Zhan was never the kind to wear his heart where others could see it. He had been molded by hardship, shaped by criticism, and often found solace only in solitude. The world had hurt him, sometimes ruthlessly. Rumors had clawed at his name, scandals had dimmed his light, and fans had, at times, turned their backs. Yet through all the turmoil, he stood with dignity, alone and unreadable. Wang Yibo, on the other hand, was quiet by nature. Reserved, elusive, but he saw what others didn't. He saw the way Xiao Zhan's smile never quite reached his eyes, the way his laughter sometimes trembled. And while the world demanded explanations and confessions, Yibo never asked for any. He only stayed, not with grand gestures, not with elaborate words, but with presence. He waited through long days on set, through silent car rides, through moments when Xiao Zhan's gaze drifted off into some place far away. And in those moments, Yibo would do something simple: slide a bottle of warm tea to his side, pull his chair a little closer, adjust the fan so the breeze wouldn't hit him too hard. It was in these small, tender actions that love took root, not loud or hurried, but patient and unshakable. During one particularly exhausting shoot in the mountains, Xiao Zhan had lost his voice. He was frustrated, cold, and silent. The crew buzzed around him, uncertain and awkward. Wang Yibo said nothing, but that night, Xiao Zhan found a scarf draped over his shoulders and a tiny thermos tucked into his seat, inside, warm chrysanthemum tea. His favorite, no note, no explanation, just care. Their bond grew not in daylight but in shadows, in the spaces between conversations, in the touches that seemed accidental but were far too precise. Fan cameras caught the way Wang Yibo's gaze followed Xiao Zhan when he wasn't speaking. They caught how his expression softened, a rarity, when Xiao Zhan smiled. And once, when Xiao Zhan jokingly stumbled during rehearsal, Yibo's hand shot out before anyone else could move. Protection. Always silent, always steady. In a world where love is often defined by what can be posted, proved, or pronounced, theirs was a love that bloomed like ink in water, slow, soft, and undeniably present. Wang Yibo learned Xiao Zhan in layers. He knew the songs that made him cry, the poems he kept folded in the pages of his journal. He discovered, without ever asking, that Xiao Zhan painted when he couldn't sleep. So, one evening, he gifted him a small box of brushes and a set of Japanese watercolor pans. No words, just a note tucked beneath the lid, for the nights you wish the world would disappear. And Xiao Zhan, who rarely showed his heart, looked at the gift for a long time. Then he looked at Yibo, and something shifted. Their love was never acknowledged in interviews. No one admitted anything, but fans noticed. Matching rings. The same leather bracelet peeking from under their sleeves. Lyrics posted on separate accounts that answered one another. The same city, the same time, again and again. And once, a shared silence during a live stream, Xiao Zhan paused, eyes darting to the side, lips curving into the softest smile. Somewhere off camera, Yibo was watching. When the world turned its back on Xiao Zhan in 2020, Wang Yibo didn't flinch. Brands withdrew, projects were cancelled, hashtags trended with cruelty. But Yibo stood firm. He mentioned Xiao Zhan's name in interviews when no one else dared. He shared Xiao Zhan's old song on his playlist. He wore the bracelet again, despite public speculation. Not once did he defend with words. But everything he did was a declaration. That was the kind of love he gave, Silent, steady, fiercely loyal. Years passed. The world moved on. But some fans never stopped watching. They noticed the little things. The two actors never on screen together but always circling the same orbit. Attending the same art gallery, days apart. Visiting the same bookstore. Wearing jackets from the same limited designer drop. Coincidence, some said. Faith, others whispered. Wang Yibo never chased fame with their connection. He guarded it like something sacred. Because to him, loving Xiao Zhan wasn't about proving anything. It was about being there, in ways the world couldn't always see. And Xiao Zhan, once broken, began to glow differently. Softer, calmer. He smiled more in candid photos, lingered longer in the sun. Perhaps because he knew, even if he never said it aloud, that someone was always behind him, waiting, watching, holding space. Theirs was not a love wrapped in confessions. It was made of shared headphones in waiting rooms, of glances across a crowded press conference, of an umbrella silently extended in the rain. Sometimes, the loudest declarations are made without sound. Wang Yibo never said, "I love you." He didn't need to. Because every step he took beside Xiao Zhan, every time he lingered a second longer than necessary, every gift chosen with quiet intent, those were the loudest cries of the heart. And Xiao Zhan, slowly, surely, began to believe in love again. In a world that demands spectacle, they chose silence. In an industry that trades an image, they protected something real. While others chased spotlights, they built something in the quiet corners, out of trust, presence, and the kind of affection that asks for nothing in return. They taught us that love does not always require an audience. Sometimes, it simply needs two people. One who's willing to fall. And one who's willing to wait. Because in the end, real love doesn't need validation from the world. It only needs a quiet place to rest. And in each other, that's exactly what they found. So if you ever see Wang Yibo smile a little too softly at nothing, or Xiao Zhan laugh in a way he never used to, perhaps you'll understand. Love doesn't always arrive with fireworks. Sometimes it comes with a cup of warm tea, a silent gaze across the room, and a promise kept quietly over years. And that, too, is a love worth telling. The script has been updated to 10,000 characters and now features Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan as the central figures in a deeply emotional, cinematic love story told through quiet moments. Let me know if you'd like to adjust the tone, add dialogue, or include symbolic details like specific objects or settings.